building contribute 37% to global emissions and cities contribute 70%.
The greenest and cheapest form of the energy is the energy we never use.
Cities, energy, decarbonization. If we get this right, sustainable cities offer us the biggest hope for our future lives. Today, over half the population of the world live in cities. And by 2050, we're looking at a 70% of the global population.
So there is a significant demand for buildings to be energy resilient, reduce the embodied carbon, and ensure that we close the net zero gap by 2050.
The technology to make it happen, whether it's energy efficiency, whether it's electrification, or whether it's local renewable resources, all of those solutions exist today. It's a matter of deployment and going faster. There are three big factors. Number one is a lot of companies have signed up for net zero goals and their demand from tenants is increasing for sustainable workplaces and offices. Second is all the cities, governments who have signed up for also net zero targets. They are putting emission caps and carbon caps, so regulation driving. And third, I would say, is also opportunity to make financial gains. If you decarbonize, you're going to save on energy costs. You can also be more resilient in case of outages. You will have a premium rent and also as well as much higher prices for your asset.
%80 of the buildings that will remain with us through 2050, they're already here today, right? So the first and the big opportunity we have is really how do we upgrade existing building infrastructure to reduce their carbon intensity?
Combining deep retrofits with digital tools will help in optimizing the energy resources. It also helps in cost benefits and it will ensure that the occupant comfort is also not compromised.
The three solutions that will be fundamental to achieving the net zero. One is energy efficiency solutions, so range of digital solutions and automation and AI ML to gain energy efficiency. The second one is going to be microgrid, the increasing competitive solar storage solution to generate local energy. And third is integration and interaction with the grid. There is an opportunity for buildings to optimize further electricity. By participating in demand response program or virtual power programs, you can actually take the burden during peak hours away from the grid. In cases of outages, which are happening more and more, you can have your critical loads being powered by your local generation. So there's a mutual benefit across the ecosystem between building owner, tenant, but also the grid operators as well.
The big lever for decarbonization for cities is really going to come from electrification. As cities start to electrify, there is a greater opportunity to feed in cleaner sources of energy to feed the need for energy demand.
Demand for electricity is going to increase. The good news is we can actually substitute some of the existing fossil fuel-based processes such as heating with electrification sources such as heat pump. And then we can replace the supply of fossil fuels-based electricity with renewable electricity.
The building operation itself is very dynamic when it comes to energy consumption. So artificial intelligence can measure all these impacts and dynamically control various energy consuming equipment so that we are optimally using the energy resources.
Once this data is collected, several models can start defining how energy use is perceived, how energy use is driven, and what are some opportunities to create efficiency.
A Capgemini project has been a wonderful example where a company such as Capgemini had a vision to achieve their net zero goals.
We first started with retrofitting all our energy consuming equipment with state-of-the-art energy-efficient technologies. And Schneider Electric came up with their energy management suite to centrally monitor, manage, and control all the energy-consuming assets. Energy and cost reduction is the biggest impact. Second is optimally utilizing the manpower. Many number of buildings can be connected to centrally monitor, control, and for reporting purpose. And once you collect all this data in a central platform, it can be used for further optimizing the energy resources. We were able to reduce our energy consumption by 25 gigawatt hour and 3 million euro of cost saving. In today's fast-paced world, the need for cost-effective and sustainable solution has never been greater.
The good news is that technology and the solution to tackle net zero exists today already. Technology allows us to not only save energy, but also consume better energy, enable resiliency for grid as well as for the building owner.
If I could sort of take all of this forward, you could see in the future really buildings that essentially use much less energy, people having much better health and well-being living in the cities. The ask is for businesses to come forward and deliver on a future that meets the climate goals.